If you've ever struggled with PCOS, I'm sure you've heard of the term insulin resistance. And insulin resistance can lead to things such as weight gain, fatigue, sugar cravings. But did you know that there's something else that could be driving the insulin resistance and the PCOS? That is a process that happens in your adrenal glands. So, your adrenal glands are responsible for handling stress, and they release a hormone called cortisol. In this process, there could be an imbalance that's happening that then leads to insulin resistance as well as PCOS. So, if you're focusing on just diet and exercise, but you're not addressing your adrenal glands, cortisol levels, and how your body handles stress, then you will never fully be able to treat or figure out what is driving your insulin resistance and PCOS. When we experience chronic stress, our adrenal glands make cortisol, and cortisol in turn actually increases the level of blood sugar in our blood. And the reason for this was as our ancestors used to get stressed by something, for example, something that was happening like an animal running after them, our adrenal glands would release cortisol. And that cortisol would increase the blood sugar, which would then allow your muscles to function like they should, to run away from that stressful situation, to get away from whatever that threat was. But what has happened over the years is because stress has become more chronic, meaning it's not just during certain situations that we experience stress, it's on a day to day basis. Our adrenal glands are constantly producing cortisol, and this keeps our blood sugar levels very high. When our blood sugar levels remain very high, it's much more difficult for our body to handle this, and we develop insulin resistance. This, in turn, can then also contribute to polycystic ovarian syndrome or PCOS. When your cortisol and blood sugar levels are high for a long period of time, our male hormones also tend to become increased. And then this leads to symptoms such as hair growth on our chin and on our chest. It can lead to excess weight gain and fatigue, as well as cravings for sugar. So, without addressing this whole cycle that happens because of stress and elevated blood sugar in our body, and how the food that we eat affects all of that as well, it's really hard to make lifestyle changes or to just try to eat healthy and exercise, because unless you address what's happening with your adrenal glands and your cortisol, it'll be really hard to reverse PCOS and the symptoms associated with it. So, what are some ways to start addressing blood sugar levels, cortisol levels, and some of these root causes for PCOS? Number one is wearing a continuous glucose monitor. By wearing a continuous glucose monitor, you are able to see how certain situations affect your blood sugar, such as the foods that you're eating, stressful situations, even how much you're sleeping and how that affects how your blood sugar goes either really high or really low. A CGM, or continuous glucose monitor, which is a tiny device that you put on your arm for about 2 to 3 weeks, is a great way to understand how the specific lifestyle choices that you're making or the stressful situations that you're going through are affecting your blood sugar. And once we can understand that and fix that, that should fix how high your blood sugar goes. And that in turn should fix how high some of your male hormones are, as well as what is happening with your adrenal glands and that cortisol level being high because of this stress. So, a continuous glucose monitor is a great place to start to understand what causes those blood sugar spikes in your body. There may also be things that you're eating that you think are healthy that are actually raising your blood sugar, and you'll never understand that unless you wear the CGM device and see those changes and then pinpoint what is driving your blood sugar increase in the first place. So, once we figure out what is happening with your blood sugar levels by wearing the CGM, and also we can do testing for your cortisol levels and kind of see how that fluctuates throughout the day or how that's impacted by certain situations that you're facing in your life, we are then able to put you on a specific supplement regimen, but also recommend mind body therapies, lifestyle treatments, nutrition plans to help reverse all of that and make it better. Some of the supplements that I really like using are berberine. Berberine is anti-inflammatory. It improves insulin resistance. It helps to bring down your blood sugar levels, and it really helps to bring down the inflammation in your body. There are also specific lactobacillus strains that help to lower your cortisol levels and balance your blood sugar levels without needing harsh medications such as, Ozempic or some of these injections that a lot of people are using nowadays. Ashwagandha and a supplement called phosphatidylserine are also great for helping to balance your adrenal glands. The timing of these supplements will depend on how your particular cortisol levels vary throughout the day and how your body is responding to maybe certain stressful situations that you're having. So it's really important to do the testing first, to wear the CGM, and then to use these supplements that we know help to balance your adrenal glands, but to use them in a targeted way. Sometimes you'll have to take them in the morning, sometimes at night. It also depends on what type of supplement you're using, the dosage, and what brand the supplement is coming from. It's really important to work with a healthcare professional to tailor a specific supplement plan to your needs and also your results from these tests. An example of how I was able to help a patient with PCOS was a patient who was having a lot of fatigue, weight gain, a lot of sugar cravings. We used a continuous glucose monitor in her. I was able to look at an entire report of the things she was eating because you get to take pictures. In the particular application that I use for my patients of the food you're eating, she tracked her sleep when she had a stressful situation. We were able to take all those insights. I was able to review the metabolic report with her and then put her on the correct regimen of supplements that were tailored to these findings from her continuous glucose monitor. I was able to adjust the dosages based on when her cortisol levels were the highest throughout the day because we did cortisol testing on her urine as well. After a few weeks of adjusting her diet for specific things that we wanted her to eat more of and avoid, the timing of her supplements and the specific supplements we used, we were able to get her to lose weight, have more energy, feel better, and her PCOS slowly improved. If you have PCOS and you've tried a healthy diet, you're exercising, you think you're doing everything right, there may be something else driving your symptoms and your condition. It may be related to your cortisol levels, how your body handles stress, and the specific foods that you're eating. So reach out to us today for a free consultation or book a hormone IQ or digest IQ test online.